Hi everyone, welcome to Book and BuJo. I'm Debbie and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. We're doing another weekly vlog, mid-month check-in, something like that. So I have not been very good about turning my camera on this week. It's Thursday. But on Monday I did errands, which were super boring. And Tuesday I edited, Wednesday I edited. So just sitting at my computer facing the screen for a couple of days. So here we are, Thursday. What have I been reading? Did I finish anything? Firstly, let me input a little footage of the wonderful storm we had just a little bit ago. Look at all that hail. Almost looks like it snowed. Crazy. We got some hail. We got some rain. I was driving in my car. I thought for sure I was going to get a crack in my windshield from that hail. It was pretty loud, but I was good. No damage. But we did go from 100 degrees down to 71 degrees. So I've now opened all the windows to let some nice cool air in and turn off our air conditioning. So hopefully you won't hear a lot of traffic noise. We don't have a ton of traffic in our area, but we do get some. So hopefully you don't have to hear too much of that. Today I did have a couple appointments. My frames came in for me to check out, make sure I liked the color. So I'm getting some new glasses. So those should be here in a couple weeks. Very excited about that. And I was able to pick up my husband's new glasses. And that's about it for anything exciting happening. Tomorrow I have some blood work, my annual blood work going on. Otherwise, just sitting at home and editing, reading, doing some reviews, playing with my dog. That's about it. All right, reading updates, because that's what you're all really here for, right? So I have 9 books on my TBR, and I have finished 3 of those so far, which is good. And I have started 3 more of them. So I've got my reading journal here to help me out and refresh my brain. So you already know I finished Vengeful, but then I also this week I finished The Thousand Eyes by A.K. Larkwood, and this is the 2nd book in the Serpent Gates series. And it was good. I did enjoy it. I think the first book might have been a little better. I haven't put it through compile yet, but I have a feeling it's probably going to be a 3.5. I think I gave the first book 4 stars when I first read it, but thinking back now on it, I would have given it a 3.5 as well. So 3.5 stars probably for this one, but I did enjoy it, and I'm glad I finished the duology. What else? The other book I finished was Essentialism by Greg McGowan, and I just finished this one today. I actually really enjoyed this one. I think this is one that I would probably pull out once every year or two and give it a read and get some more tips from it. I got a few kind of tips and tricks that I think will help in my daily life, and they also help to explain why at some jobs certain projects and things like that just did not go so well, because yeah, we were not employing some of the really good tips that are in this book, and at the time you kind of know why it's failing, why things are not going well, but not knowing necessarily how to get out of that awful cycle of just too many that boss that gives you like 15 priorities and they all have to be done now, but there's absolutely no possible way that all of them can get done at one time, but they can't even give you like 5 that are higher priority than the rest. They're all high priority. Yeah, so he talks about that a little bit in this book. A couple takeaways that I got were only do the essential things. Don't be afraid to say no. Like, I have too much on my plate already. No, I cannot take this on. No, I cannot work on Saturday because Saturdays are for my family and I've made that commitment and I'm sorry, but also produce more by removing. So be clear about what the essential things are and be intentional about doing those. And if you have a roadblock, what is the roadblock? So, and maybe you can remove some extraneous things that are just causing problems. And if you remove those, then everything can move forward and it's not going to take away from the overall end goal. If you have a really huge project, maybe start small and celebrate the wins, and that keeps you motivated to keep going to get the whole big project done. And don't be afraid to break things down into smaller pieces. Be fully present and focused on the task that you have at that moment. So if you're spending time with your family, spend time with your family. Don't check your work emails and be focused, sort of focused on work and sort of focused on your family. Nothing good comes from that. And vice versa. If you're at work, you focus on work. Get the work done. Spend the time with your family and try not to do both at the same time. Your work tends to be better, or your time with your family tends to be better when you're focused on that and not focused on way too many things all at once. It just clutters up the mind. And the final little takeaway that I thought was great is clarity is the key to empowerment. I did really like it. It's very short, super easy. It was like a less than 5-hour audiobook, and I tried to break it up into smaller chunks and listen to it a little bit slower than I really wanted to make sure that I learned something and able to apply it to my life. Because it's one thing to, like, yes, you learn the knowledge, but you need to also then apply that to your life. So to have a quote from a Terry Pratchett book that I'm reading right now, which we'll get to in just a minute, it says, you don't have to just know, you have to comprehend. And that applies to this type of thing as well. So you need to be able to let it change your life and actually apply things to your life and let it help you to grow. Right, and since I finished Essentialism, I need another audiobook, and for that I started Unseen Academicals by Terry Pratchett, and this is the 37th book in the Discworld series, and the quote, you don't just have to know, you have to comprehend, comes from this book. So we are definitely following the wizards, which is super fun, and apparently they find out there's a game, kind of a tournament that used to happen that for some reason they stopped playing it. They feel like it was kind of banned, like they're not really allowed to play anymore, but then they find out that if 20 years pass and they don't play, then they forfeit, and well, that's not good. So I'm gonna see what they decide, because that's about where I stopped. I'm about 50 pages in, and it's really cute. It's like all Terry Pratchett books, it's super fun and hilarious. And there's another little side story in there about a dribbler, which we find out dribblers are part of the candle making process, where you dribble the wax down the candle. That's a dribbler. Kind of interesting and fun. So I am partway through Unseen Academicals, and I should have this done. Today's Thursday, so probably on Saturday I'll probably finish this one. It is a little bit longer. It's about 400 pages, not too bad. I also finished the first section of 1Q84 by Haruki Murakami, and I'm on page 312. So I finished this much of it. I still have this much to go, and it's broken up into 3 books. Not sure what's going on. Somebody's doing something outside with yard tools, so sorry for the noise. But so far I am still loving this. I'm still trying to limit to just 1 or 2 chapters from each character a day, And I did break that a little bit today because I was so close to finishing the end, and it's so good. I think there was 24 chapters in the first section. Yeah, there was 24 chapters in the first section. So I've pretty much been reading about 4 to 6 chapters a day, I think, at this point. So I've got 2 more to go, but I do want to finish a couple of my other audiobooks first that are actually on my TBR, and then I can come back to this one because I don't need to have this one done until the end of August. But I highly recommend this one. It's very interesting. And then the last of the physical books that I have, I did end up putting this one in one of my book covers that my mom and my aunt helped me make. And this one is Witch's Sin, which is the first book in the Neon Gods series by Daniel B. Green. I'm on page 64, so I still have quite a bit to go. But this one I'm just reading like half an hour at night, so basically half an hour a day. So I usually get about 20 pages or so each day. And this one is just under 500 pages. Yeah, 495 pages. So it's basically 500 pages. Hopefully I will be able to I've got 2 Kindle books I'm finishing up, so I'm hoping between these 3 books I should be able to get them all done by the end of the month. But this one is going well. I am enjoying it. Very interesting, kind of sci-fi, and I kind of get the vibes from Total Recall a little bit, which is fun. And at the beginning he also feels like this is a little bit like Terminator 2. So I kind of get that, but I think I get more Total Recall vibes just because of the like cyberpunk sci-fi elements of it. I get more Total Recall. Either version, either the Arnold Schwarzenegger version or one of the Collins, not Colin Firth, one of the other Collins. I'll put a picture here of the remake of Total Recall, but they're all good and enjoying the book. Lastly, I am on page 235 of Fury and Fangs by Kyoko M, the 4th book in the Of Cinder and Bone series, and I am still loving this book. I love this series. It's dragon cloning, but it's not Jurassic Parky. So you have dragon fighting rings localized through the different states. Each have their own kind of dragon fighting rings, but we also have the Yakuza, which is kind of like the Asian mafia that are also in this, as well as a specific company that's run by a brother and sister that are kind of doing their own dragon cloning as well. So you've got all these organizations, but then you also have assassins like the hitmen out to get some of these people, some of the main characters as well. And so you have that storyline in there, but somehow it all kind of works together. So the first book is kind of like the Yakuza and the company going after our main characters, and then the next book adds in another little layer, and then the next book adds in another layer, and then they all kind of come together as we keep going, and they're good. Definitely got to try them out. I think that's about it. So I also finished, which I talked about last time, I finished The Girl on the Moon, and I finished Crossroads of Twilight, the Wheel of Time book. So I finally finished both of those, which have been on my TBR for a little too long, especially The Girl on the Moon. I think I've been waiting for 3 months to I've been trying for 3 months to finish this book. Finally got it done. But I still have Comfort Me with Apples to read, but that one's 103 pages, so that'll be quick and easy. No worries on that one. The Dream Thieves, the 2nd book in the Raven Boy series, that one will be good, but that one is on audiobook, so it shouldn't be too bad. But Court of Ravens and Ruin is the other one that's on my Kindle. That may take a little bit of time to read, so I need to make sure I leave time for that. Oh, I also have A Soul to Keep, the 1st book in the Duskwalker Brides by Opal Rain. That was another audiobook for BuJo Buddies Book Club, so I need to make sure I make time for that one as well. And then 2 more Discworld books that I need to finish. Oh, so for Year in Aeldia, for one of my characters, I had to read a book about a topic I care about, which was essentialism, so I got that one done. Another check off. But I still need to finish, I think that was Ariel's prompt. I need to finish Karasu's prompt as well for that, which is The Dream Thieves. But for Buzzwordathon, it's a different book. So in a book club far away, because you have to have a measurement time, so I picked far as a measurement. So I still have that one to do. But I feel like I'm doing okay time-wise. We still have half the month left to go, so I think I'm okay. We are on the worship team for this weekend, so I need to make sure I save time to rehearse for that as well. And then on Sunday after the services, we do have 2 services, so we're there from like 7:30 in the morning till about noon for like before rehearsal, for rehearsal before the services, and then also for cleanup afterwards, and then the 2 services that we have. And then we're going out to lunch with my mom and one of her friends afterwards, and then hopefully we will be able to come home and kind of crash and just kind of read. Hopefully. And then we'll see what next week brings. Not sure. I think the last 2 weeks of July are pretty open, so hopefully I will have lots of time to read. And again, I apologize for whatever yard work is happening outside. I guess it was not a good idea to open the windows. And I will see you later in the week for another update. Let's do a quick little reading journal update. Let's bring in a little closer here. Alright, so I finished Vengeful and the Thousand Eyes. I just finished Essentialism today. So I've got my Sakura Jelly Roll glitter pen here. Fill those in. And then I just started Unseen Academicals. I think I'm in like 4% of the way through right now. A Fury and Fang, I am 50% of the way through. And 1Q84, I am 25% of the way through right now, or just a little over. And then I did finish The Girl on the Moon and Crossroads of Twilight. So I'm doing pretty good up here. And then over on this side, again, I finished both of those. I can color this one in for finishing Unseen Academic, or finishing Essentialism by Greg McGowan. And again, I did start Unseen Academicals, and I did write the date in there already, which is Sin. It's a little slow going, but I am getting there with that one. And I did get the 50% of the way through. And then I haven't finished either of those yet. Just started this one. I could probably put the date on here just to make sure I have it everywhere. Okay. This one's only 6 pages, so that'll be super quick. And then I did finish this one, so I can color this one in. Got my little pages read and audiobooks listened to bookmark, and I'm keeping up with that. I am making progress on all the reviews that I need to do, so we're getting close. And then I put all the books as I finish them here. So this one was Essentialism. And that one I own, so it is not a library book. And I did start writing some thoughts here for that, and had that one quote that I liked from Unseen Academical, so I wanted to write that in there as well. And I think that's it, and I'm starting to pencil in my designs for my August reading journal. Yeah, so we're getting there. Hello, it's a Sunday. My husband's in the living room listening to a recording of our service from a couple weeks ago. Hopefully that doesn't come across too loud. We'll see, but let's give us a try. Oh, I am exhausted. We played this morning for 2 services, and then we went out to lunch with my mom and her best friend, and then we got home and it was kind of sprinkling a little, not too bad, but we decided to take Walter, our dog, and go hiking for a little bit. And so we did get some drizzle, and my hair is a mess, but that's all right. I get a little drizzle, but it wasn't too bad. And then the sun started coming out, and then it got really humid and kind of gross, but the hike itself was beautiful, and you will probably already have seen some of the footage from that, and it was so nice. It was kind of slippery in spots, so I didn't want to take too much. I didn't want to take video while I was walking because it was kind of slippery in spots, so I just took some photos in the area that we stopped, and it was just beautiful. Love the Granite Dells area. Just all the rocks are just amazing. Oh, what else have I been up to this week? I'm ready for a nap. I did make some sourdough brownies, so I've never tried that before. It was definitely interesting. They're a little more tang. They have a little tang to them. It was kind of interesting. I would definitely try them again. My husband says they're not really a brownie. It's not really cake. It's not really a brownie. It's somewhere in the middle. A break, maybe? I mean, it's not a brookie because that's a brownie and a cookie. So what would a brownie and a cake be? A break. Yeah. It was good though. I would definitely try it again. I also made some flatbread and we used that for some pizza, individual pizzas, and that was really fun. We had that for dinner last night. Pretty good. Tonight is burger night on the grill, so my husband makes dinner on Sunday nights. I get everything all ready and then he cooks everything out on the grill and then brings it in. We get to eat it, so it's kind of nice. Let's see, some reading updates. All right, so I did finish Unseen Academicals by Terry Pratchett. I think this is the 37th book. I think that's right. And this is probably my first 5-star read of the Discworld series. This is definitely my favorite book so far. It was so much fun. So we have a football league, and of course that would be the soccer version of football, so actual football. And the wizards find out that they have to play with, if they don't play within the tournament within 20 years, then they forfeit something, and they're not going to have that. They can't have that. So they decide to go ahead and play, and they put a team together, but they kind of need a coach. But there's also some side stories with some of the kind of side characters that are part of the team, as well as, oh my goodness, sorry. Oh, I'm so tired. As well as a baker and her sister, and shenanigans they all get up to. But yes, this is definitely my favorite one so far. I loved this book. Definitely 5 stars. I don't think I've given any other ones 5 stars. I think they've all been 4.5. Most of them. So yes, I'm so glad I finally got a 5-star out of the series. I mean, I love all of the books in the series, but they're definitely 4.5 for me, a couple of 3.5s, but yeah, definitely the only 5 stars. Still good. When I finished that, I pulled up Comfort Me with Apples, and of course it's super short. It's like a just over 2-hour audiobook. And this one is an Adam and Eve retelling, and it's a little weird, a little interesting. I don't know if I was quite in the right frame of mind for it when I was listening to it. I would probably give this one 3.5 stars. It was really good and intriguing. It kept me into it the whole time, but something didn't really, I didn't connect with it as much as I was hoping I would. But it is very interesting. And then, since I finished that one, so that was all in one day. That was pretty cool. I finished one book. I finished the end of one book. I finished the start to end of another book. And then I started yet another book. And that is The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. And this is the second book in the Raven Boys series. I got to figure out my lighting here, because when I hold my books up, they darken everything up. I don't know. I'll figure that out. I am not very far into this. I'm on page 42, so that far in, still have that far to go. So I'm still kind of towards the beginning, and I'm kind of getting back into it. It's been a couple years since I've read The Raven Boys, so I'm still trying to kind of get my footing and remembering who all the characters are and all of that, but I'm definitely enjoying it so far. I am still reading Neon Gods, or Witch's Sin, the first book in the Neon Gods series by Daniel B. Green, and I'm 100 pages in so far, and it's almost 500 pages, so it's definitely a little slow going, but I've got 2 physical books that I'm reading right now, so Neon Gods, and then also Fury and Fangs on my Kindle, which also is so good. I'm so enjoying this book. I just want to sit and read this one, and that's it. But I am 93% of the way through, so I'm almost done. So as soon as I'm done with this one, I will need to start Court of Ravens and Ruin. I'll need to try and get that one finished while still reading this one. So this one's going to take a back seat until I finish these ones. So I'm basically just reading this one for 30 minutes each night. And then once I finish these ones, then I'll pick this one up more often during the day. Yes, A Fury and Fangs. Oh, I love this series. The Of Cinder and Bone series is just so good. It is a sci-fi. There's not really a lot of fantasy elements in it besides the fact that there's dragons. It's definitely more of an urban sci-fi. So in this day and age, if this world had dragons at one point, and we had histories of dragon hunters, and they basically hunted all of the dragons to extinction, and now the dragons have been cloned, and there are now dragons in the world again, so now there's dragon fighting rings and dragon hunters again, and all of that kind of thing, kind of history repeating itself a little bit. But then you also have the scientists that are trying to just study the animals in more of a natural environment and see, like, hey, did they nurture their young? Did they hang out in packs, or were they all solitary creatures, and some of that. And it's just really, really interesting, and I love the writing style of the book too. Kyoko M does a really good job just with not only the storyline and the plot, but the characters I just care about these characters. I hope they're going to be okay. I want them to be okay. I don't want them to go through all the stuff they're going through. So I do really care about all of the characters, and then just the writing style itself is so easy to read. It is a self-published, so there are some grammatical errors here and there, but they're few and far between, so they're not super noticeable. It'll say have instead of had, or like just small little typos that don't really bother me in that kind of context, when it's just, especially if it's just like 2 or 3 in the whole book, like a 400-page book, it's not too bad. So yeah, I am loving those. And then I am making progress on 1Q84 by Haruki Murakami, and I am into a couple chapters. I'm 6 chapters into the second half of the book, so I've read this half. I still need to read this one. Not quite halfway through the full book itself, but yeah, I'm getting close. Getting close. Yeah, I'm reading anywhere from 2 to 6 chapters a day in this one. I am really liking this one. It's really interesting. I'm not even sure really how to describe it. You pretty much are still just following the 2 main characters, Tango and Umami, and I'm interested to see if the 2 characters ever connect. You kind of see a relation between the 2 of them, like they knew each other in like grade school when they were like 10 years old, but have not seen each other since. So it'd be interesting to see if in the book they actually meet again. So I'm very interested to see how that's going to come together. I do still have one more Terry Pratchett book that I need to read for the Around the Disc in 800 with Literary Diversions. And there's also the Collegiate casting off of Devilish Devices. I think that's the book 37.5 in the series. So it comes in between Unseen Academicals and I Should Wear Midnight in the writing order. This one is The Wizards, and then this one is Tiffany Aching. And then I do still have some that are just on audiobook, and that is Soul to Keep. I need to read that one for the BuJo Buddies book club. And I think I have a couple others. Let's check the handy dandy reading journal and see what else I have in here. It's looking good. I've got half of them colored in already. So excited about that. So what else do I have that I'm forgetting? oh, in a book club far away for Buzzwordathon, or the Word of Measurement, and that is by Tiff Marcello. Tiff Marcello. And that one I do have on my Kindle, but I also have the audiobook through my library, so that one shouldn't be too bad to get through. Shouldn't take too, that sounds horrible. It shouldn't take too long to get through. It's like a just under 11-hour audiobook and 381 pages, so that one shouldn't be too bad. And I think that's actually it. So I am doing really good. So I just need to finish Dream Thieves, Witch's Sin, and 1Q84, and then my 3 Kindle books. And yeah, so I'm definitely looking good. I should be finishing for July. I am sad, but also very glad I didn't take part in any readathons in July, because I was getting a little stressed out about the reading, so that's not good, because reading is supposed to be fun, not stressful. In August, I will most likely take part in Battleathon, because I did that one last year and it's fun. That one's based, it's a point system based on the star rating of the book, so you want to try and pick out all your anticipated reads and your 5-star predictions, and those are the books you're going to want to read in August. And then Aeldia, the Magical Readathon with G at Book Roast. That one, Battleathon is Mel from Melanor Reads, and I will leave that link down below in case you want to check it out. And then Aeldia, the Magical Readathon with G at Book Roast, is getting moved to September this year. And that's typically also when Becca's Bookopoly comes out. She did it in October last year, but not sure if it's going to stay in October or if she's going to move it back to September this year. So those two will most likely be for September. So August right now is only Battleathon, so we'll see how that goes. And that one doesn't really have any kind of set TBR. You just read whatever, and then the star rating is how many points you get. So tomorrow I've got shopping and errands, go to the library, return some of my library books that I've already read, and I don't think I have any to pick up because I already have all of my TBR for July here, and I don't know what I'm reading for August yet. But stay tuned for that. Towards the end of the month, we'll be having TBR-opoly again, and we'll see what happens. Since it's not the Magical Readathon, do I do the D20? I think I'm saving that for the Magical Readathon, so I'll probably roll the D20 in September. And August, I will probably roll the D12, just because. Yeah, just because. Trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so. Tuesday, I'm taking my mom to the shuttle. She's going to go hang out with my sister in Texas for a while. And, oh, we do have a family coming in from the Valley next weekend, so that'll be a lot of fun. Going to hang out with them. We'll do some food out. We may do some more hot dogs and cheesecake. If we do, I'll definitely take a picture. I got to get that pastrami sandwich again. It was so good. It was so good. And then we'll probably do some barbecue here. And they're going to bring their dogs too. So that'll be fun. And yeah, so basically just fun and family and probably some more monsoon rain. Oh, on Friday, we had a huge, so Thursday we had a huge hailstorm come through, and then on Friday we didn't really get a whole lot, but my mom at her house, she lives about 45 minutes from me, and she got hail at her house, which was good because they hadn't really gotten much of the rain that we've had so far. So they got the rain, and then that afternoon, and then Friday night we had this huge lightning storm and some really huge thunderclaps. It was beautiful until the power went out. And Friday I had gotten Butcher Box. So if you don't know Butcher Box, you basically get grass-fed, grass-finished, like high-quality meats. And I had gotten a couple boxes from them. So you can get like your mystery box. You could pick a box, and then they put so many items in each of those boxes, and it's for a flat fee for that. But then you can do add-ons. You can add on, you know, if you need extra ground beef, if you need some bacon, and then they have sales and deals and things like that. Like we actually got some filet mignon for my husband's birthday, so shh, don't tell him. And because that's coming up this month too. And so we had just gotten that, and I completely filled our freezer, and like 3 hours later, the power went out. I'm like, no! But luckily, ButcherBox, everything comes frozen, so it was already frozen. So it went into the freezer frozen. The freezer was packed full, and the refrigerator was pretty full too, so I wasn't too concerned. And it was like 9:30 at night or something like that. So we're like, well, we're just going to go to bed and just hope for the best. The meat will all be fine. We'll probably just have to use it sooner because it will have thawed if power doesn't come on until the morning. But the power was only out for about an hour and a half, and then they got it back on, so that was good. The power outage itself wasn't too bad. It was just the concern over all of the food I just put in the fridge and freezer. But it was all good. But yeah, so it'll be a fun week coming up, and I will try and get some footage, especially if we go hiking again, because that was fun. This one, I think it's called like the Easter Isle hike. It's basically a loop around Watson Lake. We only did part of it because it was getting really humid, and it's kind of an all-day hike and something where you bring snacks and you bring a lunch and bring, I mean, we had water and we had sunscreen and that kind of thing, but we didn't have any snacks besides dog treats, and I don't think either of us wanted to eat Walter's treats, and I think Walter would have been mad at us if we did, so. So we will do the full loop next time, but we were out there for probably about 20 minutes out, and it's probably about 15 minutes back in, just because the first part of the loop, a lot of it is downhill, and I fall down a lot when I go downhill, so we go slow. I do much better going uphill, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. And yeah, if I don't see you again between now and me posting this, I will give a quick little wrap up and say thank you for joining me up through the middle of July, and I hope your reading is going well. Let me know down in the comments what you're reading and what fun summer shenanigans you're getting up to. Do you have nice hiking trails in your area, or is it just way too hot to be outside? And maybe you like to hang out by the pool or just stay inside where it's nice and cool and some air conditioning. Let me know your fun summer hideaways and things you like to do in the summer. And until next time, keep reading.